Hello, my name is Angela Cravey, and it's my pleasure to present the next session in our Small Business Big Impact program. For our local case study today, we're joined by Carl Baker of Haddad Baker Accountants in Nelson Bay, who is going to share his experience of assisting small businesses in Port Stephens. This session is proudly sponsored by Business Port Stephens. Welcome, Carl, and thank you for joining us today and sharing your insights.
Thanks for having us, Ange.
Now, Carl, for those of you who may not know of you personally, can I ask you to start with giving us a little of your story, please?
Yeah, no worries. So I've been an accountant for just over 16 years now. I had 7 years up in Dungog before I moved to Nelson Bay to open and run an office over here. I've been in Nelson Bay for just nearly 10 years now, and we've been trading as Haddad Baker for just on 9 months. During that time of transition, we've been able to maintain our client base and we've continued to build strong connections within the community.
And aren't your offices in the most ideal location?
Yeah, no, we're extremely fortunate to be down here in with the water police and the seafood businesses. So we've got a really nice office with a fantastic view.
So apart from that being a really good part of being in small business, is there anything else that you think of that's great in being in small business?
Yeah, look, for us being in our small business, it's allowed us some flexibility to work and develop with the local community. What's happened here with COVID and a few things, we've found that people really needed specific tailored help to each individual business. So us being a small business ourselves with only 7 staff here, as we've been able to focus and build and direct our energies where it's needed to be, rather than just having to focus on doing a tax return or doing a BAS or some bookkeeping or things. So yeah, it's just really allowed us to focus on each individual client and how best to help them during this time.
What do you think's been the most challenging part of being in small business during this time?
Look, it's got to be COVID. When it first came out, everyone was worried, upset. Like the number of phone calls we had as soon as we found out things were shutting down. It was a Sunday and we spent all afternoon Sunday and the following week just on the phone trying to talk to people and make sure that they were going to be okay firstly. So then what's happened is when JobKeeper came out, it really allowed us to help our clients go through, work out where their businesses are at, what they needed to do in order to continue and survive. So the challenge has been COVID, but it's also been extremely helpful with JobKeeper to focus and develop businesses.
There's a lot of information out there, and I suppose as a small business owner myself, to have someone like you who's actually across the facts is really, really helpful, because you can feel very overloaded by that. So knowing that you guys are doing your research and you guys are understanding the financial impact and what we are and not allowed to do is very comforting, I know, as a small business owner myself.
Yeah, and there is an immense amount of information out there. It's incredible how many half stories there are out there, and just little things with if this then that, it doesn't always quite work out that way. And a lot of the times we've had to interpret that. We've had to go back to the ATO for people in order to get the right outcome or the best outcome. There's been lots of people that have come across to us that weren't getting any of their entitlements because they didn't know or they thought they were ineligible. And just reviewing it, making sure we explained everything to them, we've been able to help them out greatly. So
I mean, you're a small business. So how personally and professionally did you guys cope with these changes and through this? Because you would have been overloaded with a completely new area of your business that you were not familiar with. And I think a lot of hospitality industry, a lot of people have not even thought about this area. And so we're all learning new things. So you would have had to learn the new things that we need to know.
Look, absolutely. But the advantage is we've got 7 staff here. We're able to focus on small, minute details of the law and the changes and what was coming out. So we were able to have specialists in each area, develop that expertise, and then be able to go out and help the people. It's not always me that's the right person to help the people or our clients. It might be Jeremy, it might be Hayden or Karen. There's so many different people with these roles that can help in individual areas. So we find if you can just put the right person in front of the client at the time, we've been able to get across all those different areas.
Yeah. So what are the services that you offer? the different areas that would be helpful for people?
Look, there's standard income tax, which all accountants look after, and BAS and compliance type work. So that's there. There's financial statements and accounting, and then developing and looking into those financial statements and what they mean to your business and how best to understand those financial statements. And then from that, there's all other different business services. There's been helping people with JobKeeper. There's been helping people with state government grants and cash flow boost, etc. Like new people that are only new to business, a lot of them didn't get the cash flow boost from the government. We had to go back to them, to the ATO, and explain the circumstances, show them why they're eligible for it, and then all of a sudden they started getting the cash flow boost. So yeah, we offer a full range of accounting services, and it's just the ability that we can extend out on those different things.
So I suppose also you could help those businesses that have maybe were eligible for JobKeeper in the beginning, but maybe are not now because they've diversified their businesses. So is that something you're seeing a lot of, or are you seeing people who weren't eligible and now are eligible? Where are we seeing that?
Look, from our segment of clients right now, most of our clients are no longer going to be eligible for JobKeeper 2.0, which is fantastic because it means they've been able to change and pivot their business in order to get a better outcome. So where clients were down 60, 70, 80% before to get into JobKeeper 1, now, we've been able to change, help our clients, show them ways to pivot and maneuver their business into a more, dynamic type position, being able to help people become online, be able to help people go over and, encourage them and show them what it means if they start doing takeaways rather than doing nothing. So there's been lots of different areas. So a lot of our clients now are not going to be eligible for JobKeeper 2.0, which we're extremely happy about, because it means that we're starting to make money. Businesses are out there achieving sales and turnover again.
On a positive note, do you think COVID has really helped small business get across their finances? So to actually realise drill down and see where their businesses are succeeding and failing, because I think when you're in a small business, you tend to get so caught up in doing your business that you're not necessarily working on your business. So for me as a small business owner, I think this has really highlighted where I sat financially, what's making money, what's not making money. Are you finding people are starting to learn a lot more about their finances because of the situation?
Yeah, look, that's absolutely correct. Prior to COVID, everyone was always too busy, always never really had too much of an indication or an issue with their financials and where they were sitting. They've got enough money to pay the bills each week, they've got enough money to live, so they're not that concerned about it. What we've done with all of our clients now is gone back, taken a backward step and said, all right, we can't really control our revenue at the moment. It's going to be what it is because we've had to shut down, or we're only allowed half the people in our store or in our restaurant or cafe. So the revenue side of it has really come out of our control. So what we've had to do is sit down with people and go through your expenses, look at what you're spending your money on each month, each year in your business, and what can we trim, what can we save, what do we really need in this listing compared to what don't we need. Once we've determined that, you can then say, okay, maybe we don't need all these different subscriptions. Like we've been paying for a MYOB and a Xero cost now, and we haven't been on MYOB for 12 months. Why are we still paying that one? So it's been to that finer detail where you're looking at all costs through your profit and loss to determine what's important and what's not, and then being able to get rid of those costs.
Yeah, that's good advice. So any other advice that you want to give moving forward to businesses to have a look at for the rest of the year and maybe for the start of the year? Because obviously in Port Stephens we have a huge influx of tourists over the Christmas period, and so many of our businesses are in tourism, so this is when they get their largest revenue, but then we're going to have to keep on going for the rest of that year. Any advice that you can give businesses for moving forward in the next 6 months?
Yeah, look, what we were seeing and what we were talking about previously about looking at your expense and costs first, one of the biggest things that people did straight away was cut staff. Thankfully, with the JobKeeper, a lot of people then re-employed those staff or brought those staff back in, but we found that staffing is the most critical component of your business. With the right staff in place, you're able to grow and develop and expand your business and also cash in on times like this. There's been some businesses around here that have said they don't have the staff, and they haven't had the staff over these school holidays, which have been absolutely massive for all the businesses that we're associated with, at least in the Bay. So without staff, they haven't been able to realise their true potential of their business over the last couple of weeks. And if they don't have the right staff coming into Christmas, again, we're not going to realise the full potential of your business during that time. So really now it's about ensuring you've got the right team, the right people in place to help you cash in on this time, so that come next winter, we're going to have plenty of money in the bank and in reserves to see us through until the next year. So
yeah. All right. Well, I think that's some great advice from you. If there's anything else that you'd want to share with us before we wrap up our session.
Look, one of the things that we were really strong on, and we still are, is within our local Port Stephens area, we're extremely lucky to have all different types of businesses within here. So one of the things we were pushing really hard with Destination Port Stephens when we did a presentation with them and others is look after locals. So where you might not be able to afford to pay all your creditors this week, pay your local ones first. Like if we keep the money local, keep it flowing all locally within Port Stephens, the money will continue to generate and go around. The local cafes will buy more stuff from the local produce people. Everyone can afford to come and see you and buy more flyers. Everyone can afford to pay their accountants all locally if we keep it going locally where we can. We understand there's things you can't get get locally and you have to go out of town for, but always try to look after the people next door first, because they're the ones that are going to be here in the long term, and they're the ones that support all the businesses during winter and times when the tourists aren't floating around here.
Yeah, absolutely. Great advice. All right, I think that's all that we've got time for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time and contributing to the growth of small business in Port Stephens. Carl will be available in the Meeting Hub if anyone watching this session has further questions or comments. Just pop over to the Meeting Hub and catch up with him at a time that's convenient to you. We'll see you in the next session. Thank you.